Our first question is from a listener named Alan, and he asks, "Why do I feel my joints ache when the weather changes?"
Alan, great question. It happens a lot, especially this part of the season when we're transitioning from summer to fall and then fall to winter.
Hmm.
And where we're at, there's kind of not this transition anymore from summer to fall to winter. It's, goes from 80 degrees one week to 40 or 50 degrees the next week. So there's these big fluctuations in temperature. And people feel this. They feel this in their joints. The older that people get, they start to feel it more and more. I know when it's going to rain. I know when it's going to get colder. I know when a cold front's coming through. And a lot of people kind of joke about it, or they'll laugh at them and be like, no, you don't, or you watch the weather. But the truth is that people can feel this. And the reason is because our body is packed with all these different types of receptors to be able to feel everything that's happening in our environment, right? So there's receptors for our pH balance. There's receptors for how much, sun the body's taking on. There's all these receptors, but this receptor that allows us to know that the weather is changing or rain is coming on, they're called baroreceptors. Baroreceptors, they feel the atmospheric pressure, and then they send that up to the brain. The brain interprets that and says, something's changing because I can feel that. Now the brain is patterned that joint signal that's coming up is associated with this thing happening in the environment. So from neuroplasticity, neurons that fire together, wire together, then the system starts to fire more and more. Weather changes, my knee hurts. That means that the weather's changing, rain's coming, snow's coming. So then it becomes a conditioned behavior as well as a true neurological input
Mm.
that's occurring. So when does this happen? Because there's a lot of people that don't feel when these things happen. And it happens in those that have had a sensitized nervous system, meaning that they're, for whatever reason, it could be a trauma, it could be injury, which is a trauma. So we'll just say it's a trauma, that their body wants to feel more of what's happening to figure out how do I continue to survive.
Mm.
So it's taking in a lot of info. The brain isn't processing it fully and figuring out, okay, what do I need to send a signal for, and what can I just say, now it's not worth our time and effort. Let's put that away or put that to the side. So the sensitized nervous system starts feeling this and it starts sending these signals over and over again. With that being said, due to the gift of neuroplasticity, you're not stuck with that feeling.
Hmm.
A lot of people don't care to really change it though, because it's like, it's not really inhibiting their life too much. Some people it does, but most people, they're just like, yep, weather's changing, rain's
Hmm.
coming in, and they think it's kind of cool. It's like a little party trick.
Right.
But if it is something that kind of is inhibiting you from living your daily life, you can take control of it by desensitizing your nervous system. And there's plenty of ways to do that: movement, gratitude, deep breathing, a lot of different ways to achieve that, but you can do that.
Mm. I, as you were talking, I thought back to when I was in high school and college, and I was going through my complex regional pain syndrome. And my dad, he's had a quote unquote bad back for most of his life. He had back surgery before I was born, and he's just always kind of lived with this, back pain. And so he's very much, oh, the weather's changing, I can feel it in my back or my shoulder type of guy. But then when I was going through my complex regional pain syndrome, that is 100% just my nervous system feeling everything. And so um I can relate back to feeling the weather, right? But now I don't even think twice about it. It's just
Right.
not even. But I think part of that is I've gone through great healing. I work out regularly. I practice gratitude nearly every day and positive affirmations every day. And so I'm not paying attention to if the weather's affecting my body or not. I'm just kind of I'm thankful I've kind of moved past that, and so I
Yeah.
can speak to both sides of those things.
Yeah. And we see this the most common with complex regional pain syndrome and people that have just had surgery, like,
Mm.
like a joint replacement or a back surgery. And why does that happen? Oh, my knee must have new receptors in this component that was put. No, your nervous system's freaking out because it's like, hey, another human just cut into me to,
I just got sliced
I just got
open.
sliced open, with the thought of like, we're helping,
Yeah.
but like immediately post-op, it doesn't feel that way for people. They're like,
Hmm.
this hurts. Like, this is a different type of pain, but it hurts. And the nervous system's trying to figure out, like, what the heck?
Hmm.
Like, I was just put unconscious and someone cut into me. What happened? Like, how did I let that slide?
Yeah.
And it's trying to figure this out. So it starts feeling more and more and more. And yeah, it's the exposure. And Brandon said something super important in there. She said, I've gone through great healing. I exercise, I practice gratitude daily. And just from that statement, it's a it's a multiple prong approach.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're practicing gratitude, but you're not moving, you're not giving your nervous system evidence that it doesn't need to feel these things. If you're just moving and not practicing gratitude, your nervous system's trying to figure out, hey, why do you keep doing this to me?
Mm.
Like, what is this purpose? What is this? What are we doing this for? So we have to have those components both in there.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Alan, great question. At this time of year, with it being in the middle of fall and winter's coming, I know that there's listeners who are probably wondering the same thing. And so we hope that our insight was helpful for you all.